Hey guys, good evening. So I'm coming up with our lecture 3 in physics for class 9. Assignments आपके ऐप पे डाउनलोड हो गए हैं, अपलोड हो गए हैं इनफैक्ट. तो आपके केमिस्ट्री के 2 चैप्टर्स के असाइनमेंट्स मैंने अपलोड कर दिए. असाइनमेंट्स आपको क्लास प्लस वाली ऐप पे भी मिलेंगे जो फ़ोन ऐप है, और टीच मोर वाली वेब पे भी मिलेंगे, वेबसाइट पे भी मिलेंगे. तो दोनों के जो लिंक्स हैं मैंने डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में दे दिए. कैन गो एंड लुक एट द लिंक्स. और वो जो असाइनमेंट्स हैं केमिस्ट्री के, दे आर फ्री, पे कोई भी चार्जेस नहीं है. ऑलराइट. सो हमने पिछली वाली क्लास में क्या किया था, स्केलर एंड वेक्टर क्वांटिटीज की थी. एंड इफ यू रिमेंबर, हम लोगों ने स्केलर और वेक्टर को एक्सप्लेन किया था विद द हेल्प ऑफ मोशन. मोशन को हमने डिस्क्राइब किया था कि एक साइड में मूवमेंट हो रही है, डबल साइड में मूवमेंट हो रही है. सो टुडे वी आर इन अ पोजीशन टू एक्सप्लेन डिस्टेंस एंड डिस्प्लेसमेंट. और दोनों के बीच में फर्क क्या है ये भी हम लोग एक्सप्लेन करेंगे विद द हेल्प ऑफ 4 एग्जांपल्स व्हिच आई एम गोइंग टू टेक विद यू टुडे. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, तो आज वाले लेक्चर में हमारे क्या क्या है फोकस पॉइंट्स. We are going to study about distance. We are going to study about displacement, and then we are going to take 4 examples, different cases, जिसपे हम लोग distance और displacement को define करेंगे. ठीक है. So let's get going guys. Distance and displacement. Distance क्या हुआ? Distance basically actual length of path covered by a moving body between in its initial and final positions. उसको हम distance बुलाते हैं. राइट. तो फिजिकल क्वांटिटी को हम बेसिकली उसके लिटरल मीनिंग से ही सिर्फ एक्सप्लेन नहीं करेंगे, बट जो साइंटिस्ट ने हमें डेफिनेशंस दी हैं उसके बेसिस पे हम इसको एक्सप्लेन करते हैं किसी भी फिजिकल क्वांटिटी. तो डिस्टेंस हम एक्सप्लेन कर रहे हैं दैट इफ वी आर हैविंग 2 पॉइंट्स ए एंड बी, तो डिस्टेंस क्या हो गया? The distance between 2 points A and B, this is the actual distance, the actual length of the line AB, that is going to be distance. Whereas displacement जो होता है वो shortest distance होता है between the initial and final position of a moving body. जैसे हमारे पास अब आ गया एक पॉइंट हमने ले लिया A, एक पॉइंट हमने ले लिया B, और एक पॉइंट हमने ले लिया C. So person who's moving from A to B and then moving from B to C. A to B and then moving from B to C. तो ये क्या हो जाएगा? This is going to be total distance. Let's say कि A से B तक जो distance है that is 4 meters, और B से C तक जो distance है that is 2 meters. So length, actual length जो हम लोगों ने ली, that is distance that will be equal to, in this case, 4 plus 2, which is equal to 6 meters. Whereas displacement will be the shortest distance between A and C. So this diagonal, that is going to be the shortest distance which we are taking, and that is going to be the displacement. Let's say that this distance is 5 meters. So this is equal to 5 meters. Right? So distance और displacement में ये फर्क होता है. थोड़ा और इसको explain करने की कोशिश करते हैं. So we taking 4 cases over here. Right? So we taking a person who's riding on a bicycle. और पिछला वाले में हम लोगों ने किया था, we had taken a number line over here. Right? और उस number line में we are saying that a person is moving from 0 to 6 meters. This is point A we are taking, and this is point B we are taking, and the distance from 0 to 6, let's say that is equal to 6 meters. Now, a person is riding on a bicycle and we are considering an activity from t is equal to 0. तो टाइम यहाँ पे 0 seconds है और टाइम यहाँ पे कितना है, we are saying that it is 3 seconds. Initial position of the person is A or final position that is going to be B. So what is going to be the actual distance covered in 3 seconds? Actual distance covered in 3 seconds is going to be 6 meters. Right? और हम क्या बोल रहे हैं कि displacement क्या है? Displacement हम बोल रहे हैं shortest distance from initial to final position, वो displacement है. And it is directed from the initial position to the final position because displacement is a vector quantity, तो उसमें magnitude और direction दोनों होना चाहिए. So यहाँ पे हम बोलते हैं कि the distance that should be plus 6 meters, right? And it is directed from A to B. Now the positive sign with displacement shows that the displacement is, let's say this is the x-axis, so the displacement is towards the x-axis, right? So what can we conclude over here? हम लोग conclude कर सकते हैं the conclusion over here is that when a body moves in a straight line without reversing, in a straight line without reversing, right? Then in that case, distance is equal to displacement. अगर कुछ भी रिवर्स नहीं हो रहा है और हम डिस्प्लेसमेंट को पॉजिटिव साइन के साथ कर रहे हैं, तो इन दिस केस डिस्टेंस इज इक्वल टू डिस्प्लेसमेंट. तो क्वेश्चन अगर आपको इस तरह से आता है कि एक स्ट्रेट लाइन में मोशन हो रही है और रिवर्स नहीं हो रही, देन व्हाट इज द रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन डिस्टेंस एंड डिस्प्लेसमेंट? रिमेंबर दैट डिस्टेंस दैट विल बी इक्वल टू डिस्प्लेसमेंट. I hope I've made myself clear. Now let's go on to example 2. In case of example 2, we are again taking the same thing. We've taken a point C over here. There's point A, which is the initial point. यहाँ से यहाँ तक एक distance हो गया. And let's say this is point B और यहाँ से लेके यहाँ तक दूसरा distance. ठीक है? और this is the reverse direction where we are taking this as minus x-axis and this is the plus x-axis, right? So A पे हमारे पास the distance is 0, B पे let's say it is the distance is 6 meters and C पे let's say the distance is minus 3 meters, right? So over here let us consider a new activity जहां पे हम लोग t is equal to 0 से शुरू कर रहे हैं और total time we are taking is t is equal to 7 seconds. So initial position that is going to be A, this is the initial position, but the final position over here is going to be C. Now when we're talking of distance, distance is the total distance covered, the total length covered. तो यहाँ से लेके यहाँ तक total length covered कितनी हो गई? It is going to be 6 meters और reverse direction में A से लेके कितनी है? 3 meters. The minus sign over here is signifying that the body has started moving in the reverse direction. So actual path traveled, distance that will be actual path traveled, right? So it is going to be from path A to B plus path B to C. So A to B कितना हो गया 6 meters. B to C कितना हो गया जब हम B to C यहाँ पे ले रहे हैं so 6 ये हो गए और 3 ये हो गए that is 9 meters. So what is the total distance which is covered over here? That will be equal to 15 meters. Right. Now let's look at displacement. डिस्प्लेसमेंट को हम डिफाइन कर रहे हैं एज द शॉर्टेस्ट डिस्टेंस फ्रॉम इनिशियल टू फाइनल पोजीशन डायरेक्टेड फ्रॉम इनिशियल टू फाइनल पोजीशन. तो यहाँ पे इनिशियल से फाइनल पोजीशन में A टू C जा रहा है. सो व्हाट इज गोइंग टू बी डिस्प्लेसमेंट ओवर हियर? इट इज गोइंग टू बी -3 meters. यहाँ पे नेगेटिव साइन क्या इंडिकेट कर रहा है कि जो डिस्टेंस है दैट इज गोइंग टूवर्ड्स लेफ्ट ऑफ द ओरिजिन. And in this case, displacement and distance will not be equal. In fact, distance is going to be greater than displacement. Right? So we are taking over here. Let's take the conclusion. This is the second case which we are taking. All right. So let's go on to the conclusion over here. जब हम इस वाले केस की conclusion देखते हैं तो यहाँ पे when a body is moving in straight line and reverses its direction, moving in straight line, reverses its direction, then in that case, distance is greater than displacement. Distance is greater than displacement. Okay, so displacement can have a negative value also in rectilinear motion. Rectilinear motion कौन सी होती है? Motion in a straight line, right? So let's go on to the third case now. We're moving on to example 3. So example 3 में we are saying that there's a girl by the name of Divya who wants to go to Priyanka's house, right? So हम लोग क्या बोल रहे हैं कि प्रियंका के घर से फिर उसको जाना है स्कूल. So let's say that Divya, she resides at position A. So position A we are taking as Divya's house. So this is the position where Priyanka stays. Let's say this is Priyanka's house. And position C is taken as the, sorry about the crooked line, the school. Right? Now, Divya's house is 4 kilometers away from Priyanka's house. And the school is 4 kilometers away from Priyanka's house. Now, if we want to find the distance, definitely the distance over here, that let's say this point is B, that would be equal to AB plus BC. So that would be equal to 4 plus 4 is equal to 8 kilometers. When we're talking of displacement, displacement is the shortest distance. So we're saying that displacement is AC being directed from A to C, because it should have magnitude as well as direction. So A to C, it is being, well, you can say directed. So what is going to be the displacement? AC is going to be the displacement. How will we calculate the displacement in this case? Displacement can be calculated by the Pythagoras theorem, right? So that would be equal to, AC would be equal to AB square plus BC square. We want to find AC, that would be equal to 4 square plus 4 square का अंडर रूट, और इसको कैलकुलेट करके हमारे पास जो डिस्प्लेसमेंट की वैल्यू आती है दैट इज 4 अंडर रूट 2 किलोमीटर directed from A to C. Now you can see over here that distance is greater than displacement. So we can conclude that when the motion is not rectilinear, when the motion is not rectilinear, then distance is greater than displacement. Then distance is greater than displacement. Okay, so I hope I've made myself clear over here. Now let's go on to example 4. We're moving on to example 4. We are saying that, okay, so we're taking a car over here which is moving from initial position in a semicircular path and is moving from the initial position to the final position. This is the direction of movement from I to F. And let's say that this is the radius of the semicircular path. Now what will happen to distance in this case? Distance, that would be the circumference. So that is equal to pi r. And displacement over here, that is going to be 2r. Displacement is 2r. Okay. Over here also you can see that when the motion is a curved path, then also distance is always greater than displacement. For a curved path, we are saying that for a curved path, distance is greater than displacement. Distance is greater than displacement. Right. Now, if the car that is taking a complete circle, what will happen in that case? Suppose the car is taking a complete circle. I'm sorry about the circle. You want me to draw it again? Okay. We're taking a circle over here. Right. So I'll try to draw a better circle than before. So let's say this is the circle which we have taken, right? So this is the initial point, and this is at the same time, this is also the final point. So what is happening over here, that the car that is taking a complete circle, for such cases, distance will be equal to the total circumference 2 pi r, but displacement is equal to 0, as there is no direction which is defined, right? So displacement of moving body is 0 if initial and final point of the activity is same. I hope I have made myself very clear. Now, does displacement depend upon path of the body? That is one question which we need to answer. So we're taking, in order to explain this, we're taking a figure. This is the initial position. This is the final position. So let's say this is path 1 and this is path 2. And path 1. Now, according to the definition, we are saying that displacement is going to be the shortest distance. When we are talking of two paths by which one can reach from the initial position to the final position, क्या हो रहा है इसमें? क्योंकि इनिशियल पोजीशन और फाइनल पोजीशन सेम है, तो डिस्प्लेसमेंट इज सेम इन मैग्नीट्यूड. In this case, displacement is same in magnitude, right? Because the initial position and the final position दोनों same है. Okay, so it means that displacement will not depend upon the paths. It will only depend upon the initial and the final position. So looking at all these points, I think we are now in a position to differentiate between distance and displacement. So let's see, मैंने यहाँ पे एक tabular form आपको दिया है. Distance हो गया actual length of the path covered by moving bodies between its initial and final positions. That is the distance covered. और displacement जो है, that is the shortest distance between initial and final positions of a moving body. उसको हम displacement बुलाते हैं. और वो हमेशा डायरेक्ट होगा फ्रॉम इनिशियल टू फाइनल पॉइंट. देन नंबर 2, डायरेक्शन इज नॉट एसोसिएटेड विद डिस्टेंस, whereas direction is associated with displacement. Distance is a scalar quantity, displacement is a vector quantity. Distance is always positive. It can be positive or negative. It cannot have a value of 0 for a moving body. It can be 0 if the initial and the final positions are same. So guys, we have 5 points of differences over here between distance and displacement. In my next class, I am going to do with you speed के सारे फॉर्मूला और किस तरह से हम लोग स्पीड फाइंड करते हैं. 1 और 2 क्वेश्चंस हम लोग वो भी करेंगे. सो जस्ट स्टे ट्यून्ड. तब तक इस वाले लेक्चर को प्रॉपर्ली प्रिपेयर करो.